New this morning, ousted D.C. Councilmember Trayon White is facing new allegations as voters prepare to head to the polls today to fill the vacated seat. We should mention that White is also running for re-election again against 3 other Democratic candidates.
D.C.'s Board of Ethics accusing White of failing to file financial disclosure statements in May and November. All public officials are required to do so for transparency's sake. The board has given him until July 25th to respond.
And this all comes after the D.C. Council voted to expel White in February amid federal bribery charges. And today, again, he's hoping voters will re-elect him to that Ward 8 seat.
Polls for the special election open in just under 30 minutes at 7 a.m. And our Jess Arnold joins us live in the meantime this morning at one of those polling places. Jess is in Southeast D.C. with what voters need to know. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, we're here at the Anacostia Neighborhood Library this morning. Like you mentioned, polls are opening very soon at 7 a.m. and then they'll stay open until 8 p.m. Now, you can go vote at any of the open voting centers throughout Ward 8, regardless of which particular area you live in there in that ward. You can also drop off your mail-in ballot in one of those ballot drop boxes, or you can mail it through USPS. It just has to be postmarked by today. Now, if you do live in Ward 8 and you want to vote, but you're not registered, you can still vote. You can just go to one of these voting centers and bring proof of residency that you live in Ward 8. Now, the whole reason we're having this special election again, though, is because the former council member, Trayon White, was expelled by the D.C. Council in February amid his federal bribery investigation. Now, he has denied wrongdoing, and his trial is set to start in January 2026. White is also running again for his seat and is allowed to do so because he has not been convicted of that felony charge. Now, he has served as Ward 8's council member since 2017. White is facing 3 main opponents, though: Salim Adolfo, Mike Austin, and Sheila Bunn. Adolfo chairs 8C's Advisory Neighborhood Commission and ran against him in 2024. Austin is an attorney and former ANC. He also worked for a former Ward 8 council member and ran for this office in 2020. And Bunn served as the chief of staff for former D.C. Mayor and Ward 7 council member Vincent Gray. She too ran for this office against White before in 2015. Now, the D.C. Board of Elections reports close to 56,000 registered voters in Ward 8 and is regularly updating how many ballots they've received. So I checked this morning. So far, they've received 892 ballots by drop box, 2,822 by mail, and 808 at the in-person early voting centers. Now, the winner of this special election will finish out former councilmember Trayon White's full term, which goes until January 2nd, 2029. Guys.
Jess, thank you. And it's also important to note that the D.C. Council is still considering a rule change that could make it easier to expel White if he is re-elected today. And a reminder that you can find a complete voting guide with everything you need for today's election on WUSA9.com, or you can text the word VOTE to 202-895-5599, and we will text you back with the link that takes you to that voter guide.